It's one thing to get a brand new track revealed to us in this year's Nintendo Direct of June 2023, but it's another thing to get an announcement from Mario Kart Tour that reveals two new tracks that will appear in the game very soon. So let's talk about that, shall we? Since it's been about 3 videos since my last Mario Kart video, or something of the like, I figured it's time for me to finally get back into the swing of things and do my Mario Kart content that you guys are probably more interested in than my other work. I will say, thank you so much for at least checking out the Super Mario Bros. Wonder video that I put out. I am really excited about this game. I think it's going to be really good, but this video is going to be specifically talking about all the Mario Kart news that we've been getting a lot recently. It's like no exaggeration to say that for us Mario Kart fans, we've been eating pretty good this year. And with the latest announcement of not only Wave 5, but also a Rome track as well as Moonview Highway, I think it's time for me to talk about all of those in this video. Do keep in mind that for this video, I'm going to be mentioning a lot of the data mines and leaks for Mario Kart Tour and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's Booster Course Pass, so spoilers bound ahead. With all that being said, welcome back everyone to the Mario Kart content, and let's jump straight into the video. Let's start things off with something a little more small, and by small, I mean it's still pretty big, but this is relating to Mario Kart Tour, and for a large majority of the Mario Kart community, Tour doesn't exist, so let's get that out of the way. So yesterday, Nintendo announced two new courses that would be coming to Mario Kart Tour. One of them is the returning Moonview Highway for Mario Kart Wii, but what's more important here is the new city track, Avanti. By the way, that name is probably the best we could have gotten because it's not something stupid like Athens Dash. Anyway, Avanti looks pretty interesting. From what I've seen across people, it seems to be a bit of a combination of both ruins and city landmarks, which is something that Athens Avenue doesn't really have a lot of in terms of cities. Personally, I think Athens Avenue being mostly based on architectures and not so much on the city is a bit of a nice change of pace, but I can understand why people aren't completely satisfied with the track itself. But Rome Avanti does offer the best of both worlds, and I think that's pretty cool that they've done so. Unfortunately, there's things about this track that didn't really stick out to me as much, like the music. I think the music doesn't fit Mario Kart at all. If anything, it sounds like overworld music for an entirely different game, but that's all of the complaints I really have to say about that track. No doubt Rome Avanti would make it into the Booster Course Pass, but whether or not it be one of the tracks appearing in Wave 5 is to be seen. What won't be appearing in Wave 5 is definitely Moonview Highway, and it's not just because of Koopa Cave. It goes a little bit more deeper than that. Now firstly, Moonview Highway looks okay. I mean, most tour tracks don't look that good to begin with, but Moonview Highway especially looks very comparable to courses like New York Minute and Vancouver Velocity. The latter is just more about the lights itself. The entire building just makes me think about New York Minute. And you know, I don't think that's a completely bad thing, but when I had to compare those tracks to Moonview Highway, I think you could see the problem I'm trying to get at with the fact that this course could be really hard to implement into the Booster Course Pass, even if we replace Koopa Cave. Because the city tracks in the Mario Kart series are way too similar to the city tracks in Mario Kart Tour. And I mean, yeah, I know the city tracks in Mario Kart are from the Mario series and the city tracks are based in real life, but my point still stands. Moonview Highway is a cool addition to see, but I seriously doubt this course would ever make it to the Booster Course Pass. Maybe in a future Mario Kart game, but I wouldn't be too hopeful of that. Oh yeah, by the way, Donkey Kong has a new gladiator outfit. I love it so much. Now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about the main attraction of this video, the new bathroom track, Squeaky Clean Sprint. And of course, the 3 new characters. Can't forget about those. So, it's been kind of known for a while across the Mario Kart Tour community that we will be getting a Nitro track that has a lot of bathroom assets. But we weren't really sure if it was a bathroom track or a house track as a whole, and with the new recently announced Wave 5 teaser, it's all but confirmed that this is just a bathroom track, and I gotta say, this is pretty impressive. I mean, it doesn't scale up to the likes of GBA Ribbon Road, but credit where credit is due, this does look pretty interesting. There's a lot of bathroom assets that are used in the course itself, things like sponges, bath bombs. I think there's some towels in the course itself. It's all these items that make this track feel a lot more than just you're driving inside of a bathtub, or in the bathroom in general. And I mean, this course does look pretty interesting to drive on, but I have a feeling this might be a course I'm not too fond of on release. I don't know, just a hunch, you know? The music is also pretty okay. I mean, it's at least better than Avanti, that's for sure. But we gotta talk about the name. Okay, this name has been a little mixed on people. Some like it, some didn't. Personally, I think the name Squeaky Clean Sprint is nice, but I have to agree that this name could have been a little better, especially since Sprint is a little more redundant, I guess. Either way, the new bathroom track is pretty interesting and cool, but what's more important here are the brand new characters. Let's finally talk about them and the unfortunate impact that Nintendo have done when they've announced 3 characters instead of 2. So firstly, we've had Petey Piranha. Now, on one hand, this is a pretty obvious sight to see. Petey Piranha is a bit of a fan favorite character as of recently, especially with his recent appearance in Mario Kart Tour. But more importantly, he hasn't been playable in a console Mario Kart game since Double Dash, so this will be the first game since then to have him playable, and I like Petey Piranha. Petey Piranha is one of my favorite bosses in the Mario series, so seeing him playable and potentially alongside King Boo in the selection screen is really exciting to see. I can't wait to play as Petey Piranha. But that is what I would have said if I wasn't aware of the next character, which is Wiggler. Now, the fact that Wiggler is being brought back at all, even if he's not in Mario Kart Tour, was very surprising. And for a brief bit, it kind of seemed like it would open a lot of doors. Maybe Koopa Paratrooper might have a chance, or Rob the Robot. And then, of course, in typical Mario Kart fashion for Mario Kart fans, this happened. It seemed like Wiggler is going to come to tour regardless, but I mean, at least it was fun while it lasted, even if it was for like at least a day or so. Even still, I'm really excited to see Wiggler come back to Mario Kart in a while. Apparently, as far as I remember, a lot of people weren't really fond of Wiggler's inclusion in Mario Kart 7 at all. And seeing a lot of people show their excitement over this caterpillar is so heartwarming in a sense. He was rejected in Mario Kart 7 because of his entire presence, and now he has been embraced with open arms for the mass majority. And that is just beautiful. But of course, one of the highlights across Petey Piranha and Wiggler is Kamek. Kamek. Now, Kamek has had a pretty rough history with Mario Kart since the very beginning. Everyone should know the story that in Mario Kart 64, in early screenshots, Kamek was meant to be playable in that game, but was unfortunately snubbed by Donkey Kong later down. And there was some files in Mario Kart 8 that had evidence to show that Kamek was considered playable for the game, but was ultimately scrapped. It took years until Nintendo finally added Kamek in Mario Kart Tour. But this is a bigger deal than just him being in Mario Kart Tour, because this is the first console game he'll make his appearance in. After 29 years of being rejected from Nintendo, Kamek is finally making his console debut in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And it feels like, oh my god, it feels like a journey coming to an end. We've come full circle ironically as well, since he was a cut character in Mario Kart 8, but in this port, yeah, Kamek is just fully playable now. And I couldn't be any happier to see Kamek's presence be filled into the character roster of 8 Deluxe. Now with all that said, there is one thing that does concern me with this revelation of having 3 characters announced instead of 2. I mean, the fact that we got 3 characters announced at all is very surprising, but that only leaves us with 2 more characters in the slot. And I mean, that might not seem like a big deal, but you really gotta think about the other characters that aren't in Mario Kart 8 at all. Characters like Diddy Kong, Funky Kong, Pauline, Nabbit. All these characters, regardless of the outcome that's gonna happen by Wave 6, at least one or all of these characters are going to be left out. And you know what that means? I don't know, it just seems like something that would naturally happen. On the one hand, Pauline has been inserted into Mario spin-offs ever since her reappearance in Super Mario Odyssey, so it would be really strange for Nintendo to not include her in Mario Kart. But on the other hand, Funky Kong is an iconic Mario Kart character that literally broke the servers of Mario Kart Tour when he was just added to the game. It was completely wild, and he had a much bigger impact than Pauline ever did. Now, my resolution would be to say, just add Pauline and Funky Kong. It's not that complicated. But oh boy, even if I said that, There's gonna be other characters that people will mention, like, what about Diddy Kong, or Hammer Bro, or Nabbit? It gets complicated, like, it's a lose-lose situation for Nintendo. So unless they randomly announce a secret third character, which I don't think they will, but it'll be really cool if they do, we're just gonna have to wait out the inevitable and see if either Funky Kong makes it into a Mario Kart game after Wii, or if Pauline just shows up again like she does in other spin-off titles. But that's neither here nor there. I'm just excited to see Petey Piranha, Wiggler, and Kamek make their debut in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe in the near future. And that's all I have to say about everything else about Mario Kart in general. Overall, this is a pretty interesting gauntlet of news that we've gotten over the series. We've got the return of Moonview Highway, the new city course Rome Avanti, Squeaky Clean Sprint, and of course the glorious return of Kamek after being rejected from Nintendo. Oh yeah, and Petey Piranha Wiggler too, they're also important. But anyways, that's all I have to say about this video. What do you guys think about all this Mario Kart information? Are you excited by any of these events coming into the near future? Do you have any character predictions for the last two characters? Do you want to tell me your weird predictions even though I never specifically asked you to? Let me know down in the comments below, and remember that Stu cares about you.